New episode of She-Hulk. Let's go. This video is late because I was sick last week and then I had a wedding to go to. So here we are. Let's get into it. We're talking about the episodes of She-Hulk as they come out. Why am I doing this again? Might be a bit of a She-Hulk fan. So much so that I drove halfway across the country just to try to collect every issue, which I was maybe going to make a video about, but for various reasons, I'm sort of hesitant to do so. In any case, I'm a big fan of the character, and so I was really curious about this show, and I really want it to be good. Kind of excited, actually. On the reverse side of things, I haven't really vibed with any of the Marvel Disney Plus shows so far. I think the best one is maybe Hawkeye. Hawkeye? Why? That one's the most mediocre. Exactly. But it's consistently mediocre. Where the other shows all kind of vary in quality. Some episodes are good, some episodes are not good. But Hawkeye was consistently average all the way through. So as much as I really want to like this show, there's a good chance that I'll eventually turn on it, depending on how it all plays out. So you're just going to have to stay tuned and watch in real time as I either continue to like the show or completely unravel into hating it. Only time will tell. So, episode 2. Let's actually get into it. One thing that I noticed that I forgot to mention last week is in the opening Marvel logo, there's a clip of Jane Foster, Lady Thor, which makes sense. They pretty much always add new clips from the most recent movies after they come out. But what's funny is it's played right next to the clip of Captain America lifting Mjolnir from Endgame. So, like, half of the big Marvel logo is just characters that aren't Thor lifting Thor's hammer. And I think that's kind of funny. Anyways, episode 2, we get into more of the actual premise of the show, seemingly, which is that Jennifer Walters gets a new job working at a department for superhuman law. So yeah, hey look, we're actually getting lawyer stuff in this show that with Attorney at Law at the title. Good. What's exciting to me about this show is that it's so far seems to actually be about Jennifer Walters balancing both her regular human life and her superhero life, like a superhero thing, which other than the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, which do this a little bit, almost none of the MCU movies are like about a regular person having to balance their like regular life with their superhero stuff. I guess Miss Marvel probably did that. I didn't watch it, but like this is kind of one of the only MCU things that like touches on that premise. Another thing that's interesting is that like an element of She-Hulk that's unique to her in the comics, the fact that she doesn't really have a secret identity and is kind of more or less She-Hulk all the time or most of the time, depending on the era. She doesn't have a secret identity, but she does do a regular civilian job, which makes her stand out from characters like Spider-Man or Daredevil who like have a regular job, but they also have a secret identity and they do superhero stuff unbeknownst to the regular public. Where Jen Walters doesn't have a secret identity, and so her doing superhero stuff and her regular life stuff are a little more intertwined. But in the MCU, none of the characters other than Spider-Man kind of, except when he fucks it up, even have secret identities at all. So once again, something that's like unique to the comics like doesn't necessarily feel that way in the show, because it's like, oh, she's a superhero without a secret identity. What a unique take, except for none of them have a secret identity except for Spider-Man sometimes. But we are actually getting her dealing with regular life and superhero life, and that's like a big part of the show so far, at least. Hey, I like it. In this episode, she loses her job because she turned into a big Hulk in the middle of a trial, and they had to declare it a mistrial because of controversy and celebrity and media and stuff. She ends up losing her job. Hey, look at that. Consequences for superhero things affecting her regular life. Wow. It's just like a good Spider-Man movie. Who thought that could be a thing that that exists in a superhero story? It doesn't last very long. Obviously, she is quickly given a new job at working as superhuman law place, and gets assigned the case of Emil Blonsky, Abomination from all the way back in the 2008's The Incredible Hulk. He's up for parole. As much as she gets the problem of not having a job solved really quickly, it is also very quickly replaced with several more problems, such as, like, one, she's basically a diversity hire. It's like a publicity thing. They're trying a new program for superhuman law-related cases, and so it looks good if they hire a superhuman person to work those cases. There's still people telling her when and where she can and can't become She-Hulk or Jennifer Walters. It's not automatically an easy position. And number two, she has to deal with the Splonsky case, which is, in theory, a conflict of interest, but it's the only case I have right now, so she has to do it. And I kind of love this idea. We did know that Abomination was going to be in the show from the trailers and stuff like that. I am kind of really glad that they're going with it. Number one, of course, it makes sense. This is where you would use Hulk characters, is the She-Hulk show. Makes sense. Number B, Abomination is one of the only Marvel villains that, like, didn't just get killed at the end of his movie. So he's still alive, canonically. Hey, they remembered that. It took them well over a decade, but they did remember it. This is the things that I think are cool about the MCU, and I wish that they would, like, do more of that. Like, I love the idea of a supervillain prison, even though, like, it's always a bad idea and people, like, always escape from them. Just from, like, a world building and, like, character perspective, I think they're really fun. Like, Arkham Asylum is so iconic and cool because there are so many iconic and cool Batman villains, and it's fun to see them exist in that world. So yeah, we get Abomination again. It's Tim Roth. He's back, and they actually, like, lay out some compelling arguments for why we should maybe be sympathetic for him, which is actually a cool idea and a way of fleshing out that character and making him more interesting. Like him being like, yeah, I was just a soldier following orders, and we were hunting down this fugitive, and they pumped me full of a bunch of experimental super soldier drugs, and I went a little crazy. It's not my fault. I was trying to do the mission, and it's like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, Ross is clearly is the main villain of the Hulk franchise, like, in general. And, like, yeah, you have Abomination and Leader and other characters, but, like, on the end of the day, General Ross is the villain of the Hulk, like, the antagonist. The entire Hulk Abomination battle in Incredible Hulk is Ross's fault. And what happened to him? Oh, he just failed upward and became, like, appointed Secretary of Defense for the entire country. You know, because he's a white man. Like, that makes sense. William Hurt passed away earlier this year, I think. So that's too bad. I know they were planning on having him in the show. I don't know if he'll show up or not. So I guess we'll see. But, like, I'm interested to see how this case plays out. And of course, the other thing, we're actually addressing that weird-ass scene from Shang-Chi where Abomination showed up for, like, a second. Hey, look at that. We're explaining more things that didn't really make sense. And that's it. Like, there's no, like, big fight scene in this episode or anything. It's just, like, her more establishing stuff. So we kind of just have to wait for more. At the same time, we do get some cool stuff in here. Her having to balance both her different personalities and her different sides of her life, doing some lawyer things, actually. Like, that's the problem that's been set up, is that she has this case that she has to solve. It's not like there's a big supervillain plot. Sure, there probably will be at some point, but so far, we're just focusing on lawyer stuff. Cool. Is this show going to be the same quality of, like, Daredevil? No, I don't think so. So far, it is a fun show about Jennifer Walters trying to balance regular life and superhuman life while doing lawyer stuff related to superhuman things. What other Marvel villains that are still technically alive do you want to see again? Zemo, I think, is still alive. I'm pretty sure he made it out of the Winter Soldier show. He could come back. Oh, Sam Rockwell's character from Iron Man 2. He's still alive. Bring him back. The one idea I had that I think would be really fun is they should bring back Michael Mando, who played Scorpion for, like, a second in Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know why, but I kind of want them to attempt that, like, Sinister Six movie that they keep, like, threatening to make. Because I think it would be a complete disaster, and I think that would be funny. But bring Here's my pitch. I know they won't do it, but here's my what I think they should do is have him show up in an episode and be like, "Hey, Jen Walters, I want you to be my lawyer," and then have a moment with her being like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" Because he was in Orphan is the New Black with Tatiana, and then you could have like another joke about like, "Wait a minute, don't you already have a lawyer?" Like, and have some reference to Better Call Saul. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. My point is, bring back more supervillains. Have a big dumb supervillain team up. Stop killing off your Marvel villains and have the ones that are alive stick around and come back at some point. It took a while, but they remembered about Abomination, so I'm down with it. That's it. What other villains do you want to see show up in this show? I don't know. And are you watching She-Hulk? What do you think so far? Leave a comment. That's it. We'll see you next week. Subscribe. Bye bye.